I change what? We landed here. It's not the same sun, this is despair. One of us came up, none of us cared. They want to change up, life isn't fair. It's how we made, huh? Now you aware. It's why you fear us, this why you scared. They over the hilltop, I see them right there. They'll wait for the kill shot, they'll sit and they'll stare. If we got a real shot for us, it's up there. We're hopeless if we stop, they'll kill us right here. Living in death's den, run through the best winds, storming the front gates. Whatever gets us in, whatever gets us over, whatever helps us win, whatever we must do. Rescuing our kids, as long as they get through it, don't matter if we live. God chose to bless you, I'll take all that death gives. I'm into this war ends, in memory of dead friends. Hope of a new way when all of this death ends. Who can we call on? It's me and it's all y'all. We're here by our lonesome, nobody to fall on. Flesh in the dirt, fire to ashes. Fate getting closer every moment that passes. Running away, no one is there. No one to save us, nothing to spare. How can I change what? We landed here. It's not the same sun, this is despair. One of us came up, none of us cared. They want to change up, life isn't fair. It's how we made, huh? Now you aware. It's why you fear us, this why you scared. Show me a safe place, does it exist? It must be a wasteland where nobody lives, that nobody knows of, where nobody's been. Where we at is warfare every time you can get. What you can't get is real love and fucking respect. Set up for failure, a life of neglect. If none of us stand up, we'll live with regrets. If we rise, we might die, I call that a good death. What would I live for if I am oppressed? How can I raise up with the world on my chest? Who's gonna save us if you and I rest? They shoot us in cold blood when under arrest. Lock us in cold cells, consider it home now. Cut off from emotion, our feelings are stone now. Our buildings are blown out, the madness is so loud. It's dark and there's no sound, we gotta go now. Running away, no one is there. No one to save us, nothing to spare. How can I change what? We landed here. It's not the same sun, this is despair. One of us came up, none of us cared. They want to change up, life isn't fair. It's how we made, huh? Now you aware. It's why you fear us, this why you scared. The illness is prevalent, natives malevolent. Hunger, starvation now, no hope for a heaven sent. Kiss the babies goodbye, say I love you to wives. Grab your weapons, get your steps in, we gon' ride when it rise. The sun mean what when it's blinding your eyes? Put the wind to your back, leave them facing the sky. Put the pain in the dirt, raise your bloody fist high. Use your brain, do the work, strategize and survive. The rush of the dust up, the thrill of the gun buzz. The satisfaction of our reaction when there's no one to help us. The spoils of war, the hunger for more. The passion of how we smashing what we hate through the floor. The rage, the loneliness of dead on the page. To cleanse this land, gotta burn more than just sage. Crush the cage, body and soul unafraid. Kill them all and set them ablaze. No running away, no one is there. No one to save us, nothing to spare. How can I change what? We landed here. It's not the same sun, this is despair. One of us came up, none of us cared. They want to change up, life isn't fair. It's how we made, huh? Now you aware. It's why you fear us, this why you scared. It's why they scared. Salute, 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 salute. Appreciate everybody in the building. Welcome to Shy Ill Reacts. I am your host, Shy Ill, and y'all are here with me for this exclusive. The exclusivo is going down today, and I appreciate y'all for being here. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. Y'all hit that like button. It don't cost you a thing. Salutes to the chat. The chat been wilding out for 2 days, and it's going down today. All right, no more waiting. People thought it wasn't real. People are wondering why they came here. People are wondering if it's really going to happen. Is it really the truth? You know, when Val came on, I had people in the chat talking about, that's not Val's voice. She doesn't talk like that. I ain't trying to hear none of that shit. All right, it's going down today. We are here, and I appreciate everybody for being here. All right, the views are swole. The chat is on swole. Pull them up. Light them up, whatever you need to do, let's get it. Goth, pop them up, let's get it popping, all right? I appreciate y'all for being here, all right? Real talk. We've come a long way, and now we're here. And again, the twins did not have to do this. They did not have to come here. They chose to come here, and they did me a favor. There's nothing I could bring to the table but this and y'all. And y'all are huge to me. So I appreciate y'all for being here. Thank you very much. Shout out to all the usual suspects in the building. Shout out to everybody that's here new. Usual suspects, put it on these people to hit that like button whenever you get that chance. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm going to try my best to pay attention to the chat, but what's most important today is the conversation. So, as far as housekeeping goes, if you guys want to move your question to the top of the list and just cut everybody's line, $2 minimum donation in the chat. In the description, there is a link. That question will pop up on the screen. We'll get to them as we get to them. And again, they're not going to be able to. They might be respectfully declining some questions due to many reasons, exclusivity being one of them. So aside from that, we on and we popping. We got our own list of questions, and we're just gonna try to have a free flowing conversation. Just a couple of Chicago boys discussing the game, how it went down, what went down, how it felt, what it looked like, all of that good stuff. Again, I appreciate you guys for being here. Before we get started, I have a message that was recorded that I'd like to play for Peter quickly before we go. And here it is. This is his message.
Before we begin, I just want to take a moment to dedicate a special thank you to my wife, Viv. You are the true center of my universe. Every breath I take is filled with thoughts of you, and you're always in my heart at all moments. I really can't wait till the day you're back home with us. We miss you dearly, and we love you. I will keep praying for you, baby. Be strong.
There you have it, a loving message from a husband to his wife, making sure she knows that she is not forgotten. She's being prayed for, so salutes to him for that. We got our own billboard, y'all. You know what I mean? So salutes to Pete for doing that. Again, thank you guys for being here. And without further ado, let me get things popping on this side of the aisle over here. Again, y'all know we got super chats, super thanks is on. We got PayPal donations, Cash App, Venmo, all in the description for anybody that wants to donate. Also, if you want to go to the Ill Shop, you make sure you go check out the Ill Shop. We have a bunch of stuff there that you guys could check out and purchase. I'll leave a link to that right here in the chat. So there we have that. That's a done deal. Let me put this on Swole over here. Without further ado, you bear with us through it all. We're hoping it moves smooth. It's going to move smooth. We're going to have a good time. Without further ado, salutes from the Shy Ill Reacts audience to the Flores twins. Flores twins in the building.
Shy.
What
Thank
up,
you
what
for
up, what
having me,
up?
brother. Thank you for having me. I want to make it clear. I'm not doing you no favors, bro. I'm just supporting you. I started watching your YouTube videos since day one, and some of your comments they don't bother me, but I like that you always shared different perspectives. That you're coming from someone with knowledge, not just talking to talk, and I respect, everyone's point of view, but for sure, someone who actually lived it. Uh, that we have some mutual friends, especially being in the music business. So I'm just here to support, man. I appreciate everything.
No.
Even when you talk shit.
I appreciate you, bro. Again, to the audience, he didn't have to come here. I talked a lot of shit season one. I felt the need, but again, they didn't have to be here, and they're here. So I appreciate you, bro, for your support, and I thank you for being here.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's all I think it's who my brother and I are, right? For sure, we could probably do other YouTube right channels, and no disrespect to them, one day we'll do the Johnny Mitchell and Wrong Too Strong and all that, But for the most part, about uplifting and hopefully helping someone out. It's who we always been, and us being from the Shy, for sure. I think that's where I'm gonna lend my support, and hopefully that I'll be able to help you out and grow the channel.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much, bro. P, you in the building?
I'm here, Shy. Hello to you. Hello to everyone watching, good
Salutes.
evening. Thank you for having us.
I appreciate you being here, bro. Crazy. All right. What's poppin', chat? Everything sound good? Feel good? Settle in? Pull 'em up.
Hey, Shai, what I wanted to add was that, you know, I didn't have the opportunity to read Cartel Wives while I was in prison. It came out, 2017, so I had to wait a few years before I read it.
Right.
Um, I, Listening to it through your channel for sure, it had a different feeling. And you just finished the book. I thought that the book was amazing, to be honest. Especially that we're able to kind of hear people's perspective as well. Made me just sit back and think about so much, right?
Mm.
Listening to the book again. To some people it could be entertainment, but for my brother and I, that's our lives, our wives. It's our lives, what we've been living through, and um, I don't mind people's opinions, right?
Hmm.
Again, it's our life. I'm not, I never cared what other people think. I just live my life to, for me and for my family. And hearing it, through your perspective and through the comments, right? I enjoyed it. I had a different view of the book, and I'm happy. I really think that their story sounds way better than ours. So
Mm. Well, again, they were able to tell it in a more sit down, less chaotic way. Like I was telling the audience, I'm sure with surviving El Chapo, it felt to y'all like you had a whole crew on top of you, and it's like let's get these stories out, let's get these stories told. And with them, it was more like let's take our time and get these thoughts down and get these thoughts out. But I think the two things complemented each other. It was very easy to see the story through both lenses and put them together because what we missed out on in one we got in the other, and what we missed out in both I can see through the documentary and through all these other things that are coming that we'll see the rest of that.
yeah, for sure. Just so you know, the podcast was filmed, in 9 months, both seasons. So, um, as you know, being, we're not behind the production.
Right.
Someone else decides what stories make it, what stories don't. I think they did a great job overall. Um, uh, and like you said, what we have the documentary coming out, be out later on this year, which is going to be big, I think. And then for sure, now we just started working on our book with the great author, director, and producer Jaquavis Coleman, who those who've been in prison probably know who he is, but he's a 10 times New York Times bestseller, and he's more known for his fiction, hood novels, right? But we're excited. So with all those projects, putting them together combined, you guys will probably get a bigger picture for sure. And hopefully later after that, then you'll be able to watch the TV series and learn even more, right?
Right. Absolutely. I mean, it's crazy to think that the you say you get a much bigger picture. It's crazy to think that a bigger picture is even possible, considering what we've listened to and what you guys have gone through. What was your real life? Um, you know, there's a hashtag that I use a lot called your life, my entertainment, and that's basically what it's been for us as far as our side of this process goes. What was real life for y'all has been us building community and hanging out with each other and talking about it. So it's amazing that there's so much more to tell, and it could even be a bigger picture than what the huge picture we already saw. It's dope.
Hey, yeah, Shy, this Pete. I want to first tell everyone, man, there's no way I want people to think that we're glorifying any of this, man. If you really pay attention to our story, it's about the pain we've had, through all this, and we're still suffering through. And at the same time, when you go back and you listen to the podcast, I'm not a YouTuber, man. I'm not you know, my profession is storytelling. I was on the street. I consider myself a hustler first.
Right.
And so that's people might criticize certain things, but not everyone's made to be on YouTube or is great at articulating their story and their thoughts. I just want to share that with y'all. I mean, this is we're just two simple dudes from little village. At the end of the day.
Right. No, and I appreciate that outlook because look, this channel as a whole, like It's a fight that I have with YouTube. I'm not here glorifying anything.
Mm.
Being coming from where we come from, something you see somebody fall, sometimes you laugh, but the algorithm doesn't look at it like that. But on the human side of things, this channel for me, it was never to glorify any type of the life or none of that. It actually started on the contrary. So I'm glad that you're aware of that, and that we have that kind of common perception of things, to where, no, this is not the glorification. For me, it's always a cautionary tale. In my music, there was always a cautionary tale. In anything I've ever written, there was always a cautionary tale. Why? Because we seen everybody fall. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
the real pain that was out there, we saw it. And if we can help somebody from experiencing that, why not?
Amen.
I mean, yeah, you're saying it, I guess, in the best possible way. And uh, I wish I would have known you before. I would have signed you, Shy,
Bro,
and but things happen.
we were so close to going and having meetings on that side and having that conversation. Like, within my crew, it was like, listen, we got to get over there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Whatever's happening over
especially
there.
yeah, especially I'm working with I work with different artists, and at that time, I was always out looking, right, because I really was about trying to put Chicago artists on for sure. Of course, I inherited that the music from my wife, and but once I was doing it, I was not going to stop until I was successful for sure.
Right. Right. No, they got questions about that. They want to know about that too. But quick one for the audience. Like, and shout out to Shelly Baza with the $4.99 super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. You appreciate it. She wishes us great success, and we wish you great success as well. Where was I? I lost my train of thought right there. We were so for the audience that doesn't know, like, right before Kato passed away, we got a there we go. That was the Shelly Baza right there, popped up a little late. For the audience's sake, there was a time where us as Latino MCs was hoping that somebody would inject money into the Latino hip hop scene, and when De Niro Records came around with Kato and Cash, we thought that was an opportunity for us to go get a hold of them and holler at them and say, listen, we got heat over here. We got at least 30 MCs that's hot. Come take your pick, put that money on us, and we'll win. We never got that opportunity because K died before that happened. And after that, we just went on our own way, and I ended up on the road, and it was what it was. So yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I wish I'd have met y'all back then too, but
Yeah,
who knows,
because
who knows
for
what it
sure,
would have
I
turned
think
into.
Cater, when he started, it was his dream, right? And I always thought, like, I didn't want to like live someone else's dream. I was looking at it more as a business, and for sure, I think just supporting my wife at the time, and I felt like, what, we could do this. And he had the Nero Records, and then we started Plug Entertainment. And truthfully, I don't think anyone should ever own or try to own that name. I think it's rightfully ours. Ain't nobody else was plugged like we were. So as you know, we signed other artists, and I think that's going to continue to this day, right? Even to this day, I'm working on some big things in the music, and behind the scenes for sure. But it's all these things that kind of set us up for us being here today, right?
Right. Yeah. No. I mean, yeah. But it's better late than never. Like, this is what was destined to be, and here we are. Here we are. So now, which one of y'all picked up on the show first, Pete or Jay? On this channel.
No, I can't say it.
Or it wasn't like one of y'all called the other. It was like y'all both just ran into the shit.
I'm not even sure. I'm sure we shared some
Well,
of
I
your
would.
content.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I do remember my brother calling and be like, "Bro, this little chubby dude on YouTube talking shit," and I was like, "Man, leave him alone, man. Let him have his
That's
opinion."
funny.
But we laughed about it, right? But I don't recall.
Right. That's what's up, though, man. I'm glad to have you guys. I'm glad you're here. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate it.
I was impressed by your name, first of all. I was like, all right, man. He's slick with that.
Yeah, that's a lot of years ago, man. That name, I fought very hard to hold on to that name, because once the cat was out the bag, everybody wanted it, but I wasn't letting that happen. Yeah. All right, again, salutes to the chat. I appreciate y'all being here. So, how do you guys feel about looking over these questions and seeing if there's anything we can get into.
All right, now let's go. But just I want to make it real clear. Look, I'm a married man, so for all those girls that are gonna start dropping their info on the chat, thank you, but I'm married, so just want to lay that rule down.
Yo, he's a married man, all right. So the rules are down, all right.
You
Don't
you
put.
you better be inclusive and talk about the men out there too.
Yeah,
Listen,
yeah, yeah.
anyone, I'll be flattered. I appreciate it.
We're not discriminating against
Hell
anybody, all
no.
right. That means nobody could send their address to P right now, all right. We're gonna keep it safe. Let's see. Let's start with something light right here. Let me see. Let's start with something light. Let's talk about.
You know what, Shai? As you look for your question, I just want to tell you, like, I'm hoping that you continue to just find good content. Right? It
Mhm,
doesn't always have to be us, but
mhm.
I listen to some of your other reactions, videos as well, man. Just keep doing your thing, man. Hopefully, the people support
We'll
and
do.
continue to subscribe and grow your channel.
Yeah, man. Share the channel with your family, your loved ones, your friends, man. You should have 20,000 subscribers by now. Look,
Y'all heard the man. Share it. Share it with your family. Let it be known. We
And
outside.
yeah, we'll make sure that 50 Cent make sure that he takes a listen to your channel as well, right?
Let's get
And
50 over here.
yeah,
Let's get 50. Let's get 50 watching me talk my shit. A big question amongst people. There's always the contention of who's speaking of 50 because 50 loves this kind of shit. Um,
oh, he loves it. Yeah, for sure.
oh, you know what else I want to do? I want to shout out my brother real quick, man. It's his birthday. I want to wish him a happy birthday.
Yeah,
We're thinking about him.
my big bro.
Salutes. Happy birthday, big bro.
Yeah,
The chat
we
thinks
love
I
him.
should play Big Bro in the show. That's what the chat been saying for like 2 months.
I think you'll play a perfect big bro. Shy. Hopefully, when we get to that point of the series too, I think you'll do great.
That's funny.
Oh, from whoever's on Quintana Roo, man. I just read that message. What's up to you, man?
Where in the chat?
Yeah, Ducky, man.
Oh, Ducky.
I miss it. That was like our third home. I miss Cancun, especially.
No shit. You miss Cancun, huh? I was gonna ask you that too. Like, how much do you guys miss Chicago?
Oh man, honestly, it's sad to see how bad the city has gotten. I
Mm-hmm.
hate when I hear them trashing downtown. You know what I'm saying? For some petty ass shit that bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
Like like most of that stuff stood in the neighborhoods. I mean, it's sad to hear that, to see that on the news and stuff.
Right.
But of course, man, we miss it. It's always been home.
Right.
But for some reason, I think that Jay will agree. Like Mexico, man, we miss it probably a little more at times.
Mm.
Yeah, I think but Chicago will always be big in our hearts for sure. I miss the food, that's for sure. I miss the pizza, just how it is, like the life, the culture in Chicago is different. But I think with Mexico, it was peaceful, right? It was like a besides all the stuff we went through, but the
I was
life
gonna
is
say there's
just
a lot of
different.
irony in it being peaceful like that.
Well,
Yeah,
I think stepping away from, like, you grew up in a neighborhood. Most people don't venture out. You're in that stuck in that 1 mile radius, and you feel like that's the world. And once you start getting out, and you have to get out, and you explore, you live certain things, it opens your eyes to like so much. And I think for Jay and I, like, Mexico was like a place of like we've kind of like grew a little bit, and we enjoyed the family time and stuff like that. Besides, and most importantly, I think we felt some peace, like, oh, the feds ain't gonna kick in our door.
Right. Yeah, but your friends might. You know what I'm saying? That's the
Yeah,
problem.
yeah,
yeah, your
but
friends.
it doesn't matter what country or what city you live in. Your friends are always going to be the ones,
Absolutely, absolutely. They might be on
So
the other side of my door
for
right now.
friends, associates, and I think that's the bigger part of our story, right?
Right.
That a lot of stuff that you go through and been through is all those people who are closest to you. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely, because it's like anything else. You if you own a business, you have family working for you here, family working for you there. Same thing with the hustle. Next thing you know, everybody's falling together at the same time.
Mhm.
Yes, sir. And I'm reading those comments on the chat,
On the
man.
live chat.
I want to answer every one of them. I see everybody. Chucky Chingon, God's Beauty, Sean Ray. What's up, man?
That's a big question
Adrian
right there that
Torres.
Chucky just asked right there. I'm always getting questions about the myth, the legend, Ashley. Did Ashley get a pass? Did Ashley get rolled up in it all? Did Ashley just disappear? Did she get away? What's up with Ashley?
Man, Ashley is a ghost, man. I wish I could speak to her one more time and just say hello to her. She, from what I understand, um, she didn't get
She didn't get
caught
caught
up in
up with.
this. It's
She was
kind of hard.
literally a ghost.
I don't even know if her real name's Ashley. How about that?
Yeah.
Right. She was that good, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But she and I became super close, man. I pray to God that she's doing well out there.
So Ashley, if
And
you see this, holler at us.
And you, I just want to add to that. Look at Ashley, like from Detroit. You know, she was like our family, right? She basically held the keys to every one of our houses and warehouses, and we never worried about her.
That's
She was
bananas.
like, one of those persons. So
Yeah, that's crazy. For those in the audience that do not know, you go catch up on the story, of course. But Ashley was their go-to girl when it came to she was like their real estate mogul when it came to catching up stash spots and making sure everything was taken care of. She facilitated that whole situation, and people have been wondering if she's somewhere sitting on a throne full of money in a mansion somewhere that they forgot that they even owned, and
man, I
and,
hope
and
she is.
people
I hope
wonder,
she is. To be honest, like
you know.
when in the big scheme of things, people like her were like, they were like small potatoes.
Right,
Like a lot of those people, like I don't even think it would have been worth it to bring her in. You know what I mean?
right.
But who knows? The feds do whatever they want. So
Right. They want all the way down to the elotero, all the way down to the tamale lady. They want anybody. They just like Finnegan. Anybody, abuelita can get it with Finnegan. I saw a guy throw out a great question in the chat. This is a good thing to get into early in this conversation. Is how are Val and Viv holding up?
man, I I wish I could tell you that everything was great, but you know, our bad decisions again continue to haunt our family, and it's not normal. They're not just regular people going into prison. They take certain precautions, and they're getting mistreated, obviously. And I seen a story the other day about the prison system needing more officers and all kinds of shit, more money. And I keep thinking, like, why don't they hurry the fuck up and let's start letting people out, do their job. They have all these new ways to be able to get people home faster, and they choose not to. They drag their feet. So that's just the issue right now with that. And of course I want my wife home as soon as possible. So it's hard to see the person you love most have such a hard time, and go through so much. And at the end of the day, you gotta accept that it's all because of you.
And the person that would be here to console you from beating yourself up is not here right now. That's unfortunate.
I mean,
well,
man, and to all those single mothers out there who did this on their own while their men were in prison or whatever the hell it was, whatever reason, their baby's dad, bailing on them. I'm getting a taste of what it is to be a single parent. And boy, man, I just can't tell you my respect for all women. We're all single fathers out there. It's like it's crazy how much work it takes. And I think women are especially built for things like that.
Right.
At least the good ones.
Right. Jay?
yeah. For the most part, Val's strong. Uh, she was worrying me a little bit, and I think that I asked her like, "What's the difference between now and then?" She's like, "Man, I know better. I have what I didn't have before, and that's family and love." And she's holding up pretty well. She said, "Give me a week, and I'm gonna start running the TV room." So, uh,
Jesus.
she's strong. She's holding up pretty well. Of course, there's those down days, and
Right.
the hardest part of it for anyone who's in prison is being away from the kids, and for her, for her, she of course beats herself up about that. That our kids had been through so much, and for the most part, just reassurance every day that I got it, and she believes in me, trusts me. So uh, I know that's just something that makes her feel a little bit better, but um, I know that now that she's in that situation, she is thinking about like all those mistakes that she made since
Mm, right. I hear you. Do we lose him? Might have lost him.
Probably lost a little bit of them.
Probably lost him. All right, salutes to y'all. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Salutes to the 91 people in the room right now. We got 42 likes. Bring them likes up to the top. Again, appreciation to the Flores twins for being here. We're having a candid conversation and we're kicking it off with family. So if anybody felt like that wasn't important enough and they left, it is what it is. We'll get to whatever we're gonna get to when we get to it. All right. It's important we discuss the family. Jay, you back? We got you back?
Oh, you lost me. Oh my
Yeah, we
god, I
lost you for a
apologize,
second.
guys.
Yeah.
I apologize.
No, it
Yeah,
was all
but
good. It gave
she's
me an
doing
opportunity
well,
to
man.
give them the thumbs up.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, she's doing well, man. We're hanging in there, right? And she's strong, so I have full faith that she's gonna be all right, and we're gonna get through it, and just be stronger than ever.
Well, we're glad to hear it, and we're hoping, that everything goes well, and in the future we be able to talk to them, and on the other side of all of this bullshit.
Amen.
Amen
Praying
to
for it.
that. Salutes to that. Appreciate to everybody in the chat. You guys is showing up and showing out today. Keep them likes going up. Keep the pressure on the newbies, and let's keep it moving. So there's always a big question. It's a pretty basic question. Again, you know, us as a people, we're always, Tupac or Biggie, or we always pick our sides and pick and choose. And lately, the conversation around here has been, who was the real boss? Was the real boss Chapo? Was the real boss Mayo? Chapo was just a fall guy. Chapo was just this, that. Can y'all clear up any of that for us?
And I think we both can. I think Jay and I will both agree that it sucks to hear when people just disrespect someone. Just Chapo's obviously in prison now, but you know he was obviously the boss. He's just as boss as any boss. I don't think that there's too many people that made it to his level. And I always compare it to my brother and I, where we're equally partners in the business, and I see him and Mayo the same way. you
Mm,
know, and um, and of course maybe Mayo is a little bit stronger, or a little bit more you know handling a lot more business, but they needed each other. That's obvious. And his reign's been a little longer. I'm talking about Mayo,
mm,
and I think it helped to have someone to take all that heat off of him.
right.
Well, I mean, to me, we're both the bosses of their own organizations, and
Mm,
Mayo being the boss for over 40 years, of course, had that advantage where but I just don't see a number one and number two. And for sure, in my dealings with them, they always respected each other as they don't care about number one, number two. That's everyone else. But
mm,
I think that just because Chapo's been in prison now, that little like whole show is over. Now they look for the next person, and to me,
absolutely.
Arturo Brazan Leiva and Maya Chapo were all bosses, in their own right, and there was never such thing as who was number one, who was number two. If that makes any sense. I think that's public, or that's government, whoever, whatever makes it sound good about always trying to see who has the number one spot. Um, but I just didn't see it like that. I thought that you know they each had their own organization, and Chapels could have been powerful, or stronger in one you know aspect, and Maya's could have been stronger in another. But of course, Maya's the continues to be the boss to this day. So yeah.
So was do you think there was one that was, I don't know, maybe one easier to work with than the other?
Ah, for sure, man.
Absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely. I think that Jay would agree. We had a choice. We would, our loyalty probably be with Mayo for sure.
Mm,
Yeah, Mayo was he really took a liking to us, and he was a businessman for sure. Like it was easy, he was not going to ask why. He respected a lot of our decision, or just whatever we could come up with to make things work, and he always rode with us. Yeah, it was a lot easier to do business with Mayo than Chapo for sure.
Nice, nice. I'd imagine, one would be, different data. But there's your answer, y'all. Y'all been asking. We've been asking this question, and we did a video on it last week. People come, in the comments, and they say what they say.
That agent did that interview, and he talks about going in front of the committee and speaking. They did that because he's the only fool that was gonna back up everything they say. I mean, not that he carried any weight for him to actually say those things about Chapo, like he was never a boss. It's just stupid.
Oh yeah. We're talking about Better Yes, Hector Better Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, I think because now it's over. Now he's not the topic, I guess, right? He's in prison, so I think
right.
I just don't see the necessity. I always say, well, Chapo's everything everyone ever heard he was, and Miles just that, and never been arrested and been the boss for a longer period of time.
Right.
His organization continues to be a strong organization, and he's a smart man for sure.
Right. It's like, yeah, they're on some change the narrative shit after the fact. But everybody's trying to get clicks, everybody trying to get likes and all that good stuff, and I guess it doesn't have an age barrier, or everybody's trying to do it. Which,
Yeah, and just to add to that, I think today, right, like for us that were in it since long ago,
Mhm.
like even Chapo, right, is like you start hearing about him everywhere for the last 10 years, 15 years, or whatever. Of course, people in Mexico are going to say differently, and I mean, I agree 100%. But there was big drug lords. A lot of people didn't know who Arturo Beltran Leyva was, and he was,
the
right there
boss,
with them.
right?
Powerful, very powerful, drug lord, capo, and many people don't know about him. I think it's just, now that with social media and everything, I think that people are starting to understand, okay, well, who is Miles Zambada, But, you know, to us who've been in the game for a long time, I mean, Mayo was always Mayo, and
Right,
Chapo was always Chapo. So,
right. It's relative.
yeah.
And another way people do it, and way people change the narrative, which is what I believe is happening with the G Unit spinner chain. I believe,
G and spinach,
I believe that the last video, I didn't even put out an edited version of it, the last Spider Loke joint, because it was like enough is enough already. But it seems now that they're separating from it's like they're upset now. It's like, no, they have nothing to the Flores
Well,
twins have nothing to do with this history. And it's like, are you rewriting history because they cooperated, or did that really happen the way you're saying it happened? And you've told us you don't know what happened to the chain. So can we get any clarification on that chain story?
yes, finally, huh? I took
Well,
offense when I heard.
let me say something, man. That dude,
Took offense for when people say
uh,
that.
Hold on, Jay. Hold on, Jay. Pete wants to interject real quick. Go ahead, Pete.
wait, what's his name?
Spider
Lokes, what's his
Loke.
name? Spider Lokes is full of shit. He just annoys the shit out of me. Like he needs to get lost. He's irrelevant, in the whole story, but he overheard the conversations. Now he want to go out there and call people liars. It's just stupid.
There we go, Jay.
Yeah. So for my brothers, obviously it's a touchy subject, but I heard different type of comments. I heard even saying that 50 Cent made up a story to give us street cred, and I want to make it clear who we are today is different, but who we were back then, we were the street, like plain and simple. I don't care if people get on their feelings, and it's the truth, right? Um, and that story, the way 50 Cent said it, is exactly the way it happened. I don't know, I heard Jojo Capone, whoever he thinks he is. I really don't buy his story. I don't believe it. It's as simple as uh, the chain got stolen, and I'm gonna make it clear: them same people that stole that chain at one time robbed me and 12 of my guys, and I got all the jewelry back when they did that to me, and I find out that they stole the G Unit chain. At that time, me being in the music business, understanding that there's a lot of like facades are in there of tough people. I found out that the chain was trying to be sold to Irv Gotti and Ja Rule, for whatever number of whatever money, and they're waiting on trying to get a big paycheck. And at that time, my fam who worked with 50 Cent and everyone, said, "Hey, man, like they took the chain, and I would like that back." I had no idea they had actually took it, and I made a phone call to a close associate who, I'd rather not mention, but he could be in the streets, he could not be. Made a call, and I said, "Hey, I need the chain." He didn't ask me for nothing. He said, "Send your guys, some come get it." That same day, I they took it to the post office, FedExed it to the next day to just the way you heard to SRC, where someone at the label walked it down to 50 Cent's office, which was at Interscope at that time, and 50 got on the phone with me, and he said, "What do you want?" I said, "Nothing." I respected him at the time. I respected who I thought he was. I felt like he was real, and I felt like I didn't want, me. I felt like I wasn't dealing with fake people, and I just did it out of just, you know, doing the right thing. Later on, he did. He insisted for me to get something out of it, and Young Buck got on one of the artist's songs that I ended up paying for. But after that, we started a relationship, and that's why, all right, things happen for a reason. And all these years later, it was like, we sat down, like he just couldn't believe it. And after I gave him back the chain, yeah, we had a relationship where here and there, run-ins and stuff. Or he'll run into Val and hop on the phone and just uh, say what's up and stuff like that. But most of those lies are probably 99. They're just lies. Whoever those rappers are, whoever those people that think that they need to say something. I heard El Prophet said some stuff too, and you know there you have it. I'm the one that gave him back the chain. You know, no one cared to take pictures of it because it wasn't not that much of importance at the
I
time.
made that point too. Like, where's the nobody got a picture of this chain, and nobody is saying I put it in the box, I put the label on it, and I sent the chain. Nobody is saying this. And again, I gave them the benefit of the doubt. I said, listen, there's a way that all of these stories can be true. Okay, but none of you are telling me, and they all kind of copped out of that, and they said, okay, we don't know how it got there. Somebody copped it, somebody else got it there, and then it's like, all right, this story can happen after that. But now they're hell bent against that,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
everybody's
And,
alive.
just to add to it, I want to make sure that the people that actually took the chain, I made sure they got something out of it, right? I felt like, they could kind of be, out of respect, they made sure they gave the jewelry back to me and all that. And I felt like,
I think we lost your signal a little bit.
go, you know,
We
We're
lost you
losing
a little
you.
bit, Jay, but
I
it's
do
good. Go
wanna.
ahead,
I
Pete.
I
wanna. I want to say that about 50, man. I really gotta say 50 a real one. He ain't out there clout chasing. He don't have to. Look at all he has accomplished. And I wouldn't ever sign with him if I thought that he was on that BS. He ain't Ricky Ross for sure. He ain't out there flexing or exaggerating shit. And I respect that about him.
Salute. So there's your answer, y'all. Everybody can say what they want to say. These guys are saying they're cut and dry. They're throwing around names over there. They said the Godfather's gonna speak. Cool. We'll hear the story, but
And I never heard of no Godfather nowhere. I mean, that's the title they're giving them. But
if it is the same person, we don't. I mean, that's how much they know. That's not his name, and so
right, it's
I
the
would
name
say
they got for him.
yeah, for whatever my guy is, he's heavy. He was heavy on the street, for sure. Shot caller, right? And simple as that. But a lot of stuff are made up, and it's just crazy how something like a chain, and Tony you said it best. I didn't have to threaten anyone, but they knew what it was.
Yeah, yeah.
Simple. It was out of respect. It was that's it.
Yeah, I feel like that was inferred. It's inferred. Yeah, you don't want to say no to some guys that control how you eat.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm gonna tell you, and for those who are in the street, it's like I have to ask for a favor. It's like, yo, the person that we're eating off of, needs this back, and I even give, even my associate. It was no question. Like, here, let me give it back to you.
Right. If you
Simple. It
let
was
the
no
story
there was
be
no
told,
argument.
it
Like
was
it's
hard. It was
not what.
difficult. Oh, the whole world had to get shut down. Like, come on,
Yeah,
man,
I
relax.
mean, but it was inferred, right? Like they know. I'm not saying that we didn't have that
Right.
access to be able to do something like that either. You get me?
Right.
But
Right.
it didn't have to go that way. For all those people who are in the streets that said, "Yeah, well, yeah, right, you were not going to tell me what to do." Listen, for sure, no one would ever have listened to me or my brother, but they were going to listen to whoever they had to answer to. Simple. And that
Absolutely.
person, for sure, was going to do whatever we asked them to do.
Right. Cool. Appreciate your answer. There's your answer, y'all. Until the next time somebody come out with another story, but nobody can tell me who put the tape on the FedEx box and sent the chain over. Salutes to Jonathan Pantoja, one of the usual suspects for his $5 super chat. Salutes Shah, Il, J, and Pete. May we ask about the friendship between Cash, JC, and Kato. Love and blessings to Viv and Val and both families. 100. Salutes to you, Jonathan. You're always appreciated. Thank you very much, sir. Can you guys expound on that? I mean, separately, of course, your own relationships with these people, and talk to us a little bit about Cash, JC, and K.
Mm. You want me to go pee?
I mean, yeah. The only thing I do want to say is like I'm 1,000% sure clear that I introduced Cash to K. Um, Cash was hustling them CDs, and I had met Cash before. And he started coming around. We were playing ball at Hoops the Gym, and he'd come and that's how we first got together. And I know JC because he was from from the other neighborhood, and he was one of the guys we messed with's boy, and we were around when he fell out with them, and he came over to be with K. But Jay could tell you a little bit more of that.
Yeah, well, for sure, Cash, 100%. Had a good relationship with him. One of my guys still to this day, but we made the introduction for him with him and K and JC, as you guys know or may not know, is that he was one of Valerie's first workers, drivers, and he ended up getting arrested, before she did, in Mexico for one of her loads. Um, and I met him, while I was around K and stuff. So, uh, and then later on, happened to be around him a few times, and that's how we, started that relationship. But those are my guys right now. Shout out to JC Rancho Strong. I mean, uh, he's for sure doing amazing things and with God's work, right? And yeah, but now their personal stories, interactions with everyone, that's their personal stories, right? I'm gonna guess that whatever they said, it was what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Man, mad respect to JC too on his walk, man. I don't want to forget to thank God, man, just for allowing us to be here today, man. He's pulled us through so much. I mean, he's been our protector from day one, and it was a blessing to be able to, get into the Word while I was in prison and kind of stay in it.
Yeah, salutes to that. Salutes to that. All right, so let me see. We're talking about JC and we're talking about Cash. A lot of people wondered. I don't know. I don't know if JC's still doing YouTube, but a lot of people were asking that question, like why he didn't get the blessing. But they made it clear,
Um,
y'all. They still cool
just
with
just
Buddy.
make it clear, like, look, that's my, like, yeah, for sure. Like I said, I think that everyone gets blessed differently, right? And for sure, one day, I'll be able to come on his channel and do some other channels, but I don't think that we ever do something to spite someone else,
Mm.
at all. So just to make that clear.
And
And
guess what?
Jonathan
Nothing in your
Pantoja, thank
story.
you.
No, nothing in your story says that that's your character. Anyway,
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
not at all. Jonathan Pantoja, I just want to say thank you for the prayers, man, and for just tuning in,
Yeah, salutes to
and for those
Jonathan.
and for those $5.
Salute for them $5. Thank you, Jonathan. Appreciate you. Jonathan, stay in the chat. All right, we broke 100 concurrent views. We got 96 in the room. Let's try to get that to 100 people. Them 63 likes. Let's try to get them up to like 85 right about now, and we'll keep it moving. Since we're talking about Cash and JC and that, and you say you met Cash and y'all played basketball, there was a question: do y'all still play basketball?
No, we tried to. I think the first time we got to see each other, we went out to the gym and we had a little squad. Now my son plays ball and his sons play ball, so we're doing some little matchups.
Yeah.
I
For the
hope he's
most,
not. I hope you're not
I
salty about how we beat you, Jay.
mm, to anyone that knows is that my brother can't ball, so I just leave it at that. But for the most part, I played basketball the whole time. I was in prison. It caught me in a lot of problems because there's a lot of haters. So any of those people who probably listen that we were uh, locked up with, they're gonna know that I played ball my whole practically whenever I could. So as of now, of course, trying to keep up with my kids is hard, but I do plan on trying to get back at it. I love the game for sure.
Yeah, same thing here. We played ball in there, and I would just stay away from them haters though. I pick and choose. Like I ain't gonna get on that court, get beat up just to play with y'all. That's for sure. Them cheap shots.
Ducky said they hoop y'all up.
And I'm sure he probably would.
I ain't one to
Yeah,
gossip, so you ain't heard it from me.
yeah.
Let me see what else I got here.
Oh, the kids are great hoopers.
Yeah, that's what's up. Do any of y'all got a Kato story?
mm. I'm sure there's a
Or a
lot
little
of
or a little
people that
insight into the relationship or whatever you guys
what.
can
There's a lot
offer.
of people probably want to talk about that. I just want to make it clear. You hear all these comments, right? Um, K was like he was like that was my boy, man. I knew him since I was 7, 8 years old, and we had a great relationship. Of course, K was K, and I always said that he would make Suge Knight shake in his pants, right? Suge Knight to me was soft compared to K, and everything everyone says about Kato, I think for sure is kind of understated. But he was my guy, right? And it's just one of those things where uh, people like to change the narrative, right? And those people, his family, they knew what type of relationship we had, and how close we were at, for a long time, um, and it's the streets, right? It's sad.
Mm.
To this day, I still pray for him. No matter what happened, afterwards, it doesn't take away, the relationship we had and who we were and all that. It's sad, but uh, that for sure kind of started dictating how my life was going to be. Was going to take place and the changes I was going to make. So, rest in peace to K, and that's never going to change.
Yeah, I do want to share the story. It's weird because of 50 today, but I remember riding with him, and he was like, "Hey, Twin, look at check this dude out," and he had that song out about robbing.
How to
K was
rob.
a fan. Yeah, K was a fan of that from the beginning. He's like, look what he talk. He talking that shit. And then he's like, man, dude, he gonna be big one day. I remember that perfectly clear. I remember we're on the 55, heading downtown. You know what I mean? And I just that never left my mind. Him telling me that. About 50.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to share about K being crazy. So K, he didn't care if he had $1 million, $5 million, or he was broke. One thing he never stopped doing was gang banging. He was gonna be a Lion King to the last day, and he could um, be in have all his jewelry on, and be in a nice car, and he still want to go spray paint someone else's hood. You get me? He just, that's who he was, and uh, it's hard, man. Like his character, he's one of a kind for sure.
I'd assume that's why him and Dog were so tight. Because Dog was the
Oh man,
same thing. Dog, I have $1 million, but he still want to go see if he can
oh
still
man,
snatch a car.
yeah, for sure. I think just
We
same
talking
type
about
of
DMX, yeah.
guys. You get me? They were like big grown kids. They love remote control cars. They just like playing and smoking and just they're just about that. But one thing for sure, I know that Kato, he loved Dog for sure.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stories people don't really talk about, but we always would sit back and say, Dog had rap beefs, right?
Mm.
DMX had them rap beefs, and Kate doesn't know what rap. He can't tell the difference between rap and streets. So there's a lot of stories out there that hopefully will come to life later on about Kato not understanding entertainment life and real street life.
Yo,
Kate was
like a
street all the
Kato
time.
and DMX exclusive film is that shit is something crazy because I tell you what, man, I remember the day that I met Dog, I asked him, I said, Dog, man, why haven't you been to Chicago in so long? And he looked at me teary eyed and he said, because Kay's gone. He said when Kay was there, I had a red carpet rolled out for me and I was
Hmm.
I was safe and everything was
Yeah.
good and it was like that
Yeah.
every time and I made sure that I tried my best to make sure every time he was out here with me and around me
Mm.
that that I could try my best to hold that down for him because I wanted him to come back and he did. You know what I'm saying? And I
Yeah.
remember being on the phone. I'm sitting next to him and he's on the phone talking to somebody, and he's telling them who's out there with us, and he's looking around the room and he looks at Nonstop and he goes, Nonstop here. I got to keep a Chicago boy with me, and he put the phone down and they dapped each other up and gave a hug, and I was like, this is some real
Oh yeah.
camaraderie shit here.
I think for sure. I mean, DMX was, of course, an amazing dude, right? And I think for sure, Kato, there was nothing he wouldn't do for him. And um, he grew. That was his home, right? Chicago was his home. He loved, like I think it's just a different type of dudes that are, from the street that he could relate to.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
one thing's for sure. Later on, you guys are gonna hear a story, but it was DMX who actually saved Ja Rule from Kato. That's for sure, and that's a story I'll share on some other day.
And well, we're gonna look forward to that story. All right, Jay just let it be known that in the future we're gonna hear how Dog saved Ja from Kato. And this is, if you recall, Dog did interviews, and he would lose his shit, and he'd be like, "Remember when I kept you alive in Chicago?" I'm pretty sure that's the story right there.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick to Ducky, man, you guys check out Lorenzillo's or Puerta Madero.
Boom, he just gave you the restaurant hookup in Quintana Roo, Ducky.
Oh man, they have a Puerto Madero in LA now. P.
Salutes to Kai for the 9.99 super chat. I don't know if I see a question attached, but salutes to you. I appreciate you being here, sir. Thank you for the 9.99 super chat. And we got another one from Jason Sandoval. Thoughts and prayers to the twins and their families. Much respect from San Diego. Salutes to you, Jason
Man,
Sandoval.
thank you, Jason Sandoval, man. We appreciate that. We need all the prayers, man, we can get.
Let me see here. So yeah, so we
Yes,
got
thank
through
you.
that. We got a K. We got the inside scoop on K. We got some K and Dog. We got some future K and Dog stories coming through there. So that's salutes to that.
I just to
Let's.
make it, I might as well go ahead and add to this too. I just want to make it clear. You hear all these stories, and there's a lot of stuff that being said about Val and stuff like that. It's like,
Mhm.
it's to me, it's like it doesn't make any sense that so many men will be commenting about what a woman does with her life or how she moves on, right?
Mm.
When it's called moving on, it's life.
Mhm.
No one stays in one place. And for all those people who think that because someone's spouse passes away that they have to stop living is ridiculous. It's crazy to me.
Right.
Um, and 100%. If Kay would have never passed, I'm sure she would have still been with him to this day. And I'm for sure. You know, even me as her husband, I know that. Uh, and as far as for me, I just want to make it clear. I make decisions based on how I would live my life. And if something happened to me one day, I'd want whoever that person was going to be to make my wife happy or take care of her, whatever the case is, for her to have that choice. And no matter who it was,
Right.
it could be my brother. I wouldn't, I mean, me, I'd want just someone to be happy. Right. And that's it. So that's how I made my decision, and as simple as that. I'm not gonna live my life, you know, thinking what's right, what's wrong. Uh, when it comes to that.
Right. Your life's not run by committee.
Yeah,
It's not up for
and the
vote.
fact that people actually talk about it, and you even had gang meetings and people talking about that disrespect the gang. Like really, like you worried about a woman, what she's doing? Like that's weird. That always has to go back to hate. and simple, you know.
Yeah, I mean, and again, we're dealing with the people outside without information. Because again, I've heard
Yeah.
a million stories about how Val doesn't let Kay's mom see the kids, and then I come to find
Hmm.
out there are no kids. So it's like people are out there not knowing what they're talking about,
Hmm.
and swearing that they have the gospel, the truth of the story, and it's like,
Yeah.
nah. Till we get to the bottom of it, we didn't get to the bottom of it, and you're just running with whatever comes to mind.
Yeah, for sure. I guess you're gonna continue having those comments. I hear the comments of them saying stuff about the song that she says she'll always love him. Like, yeah, she's always gonna love him.
Mm-hmm.
That's facts. You get me?
Right.
My mom passed. I love her. I will love her forever. That doesn't change. People's
Right.
life don't stop. Your feelings don't stop just because somebody passes. And I have love for K. I always have love for K. No matter what. You know.
Right.
So
All right, let me see. We got that out the way. We got a 4.99 super chat from Adrian Torres. So you to you, Adrian. Much respect to the twins. Stay strong during the rough times. Your wives are away. Stay tough. Stay strong during the rough times. Your wives are away. What type of relationship did you guys have with El Mencho? And,
well,
and
Well,
and to piggyback off that, somebody else had asked if he said anything to you after he rescued you guys from those federales.
yeah, we continued our relationship with him, and we knew him. We knew of him through some of our associates that were close to him. But he's always been that known for that, for being vicious, and I think that our relationship was kind of we didn't get to build on it because at that time he was pushing a lot of weed, and it was kind of not something we were like trying to get into too much.
Right.
to be honest, yeah, he was not a type of person I want to do business with. How about that?
Yeah.
And we would stay away from, like, I had a relationship afterwards, and we'd meet up, talk, and um,
And
he was
truthfully,
not the perfect businessman for sure.
yeah, and at the time, to be honest, man, he wasn't who he is right now. You're not trying to do business with the little dude. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Yeah, at the time, I think that even though he was more about, like, security and that type of his squad. He was not more business. We were way more business. We were way more advanced and had a better position than he did at the time.
Mm. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. He was just a super goon at the time.
Yeah.
Exactly. But, I mean, basically, he went and he did what he was supposed to do, right? He
That
went
was his
and
position. He played his
okay.
position.
Exactly. And I know people are gonna be like, "What?" Like, look, at the end of the day, we're businessmen. We're money people.
Mm-hmm.
There's different people, in the organization do different things, and at the end of the day, the businessman is gonna be the one that's on top, no matter what. So just remember that, killers. You
Yeah,
know.
it's true to say that because people like you try to explain the story and they have they say their comments, but are you speaking from a thug point of view or are you speaking from a businessman? Which one are you? Because if you're just a thug, then you don't understand me, and I don't understand you. And I think that that's a big difference.
Mm-hmm. If you a thug, it's not your cheese.
Yeah, it's not. We're in two
Hmm.
different worlds. You're just surviving.
Right.
I'm living. In other words.
That's what's up. Again, salutes to everybody that's here. We got 100 concurrent viewers in the chat. Salutes to y'all, 100 concurrent viewers watching. I appreciate y'all being here. Once again, thank you and salutes to the Flores twins. Thank you for their wives, for lending them out to us for a little while so that we could talk, and we appreciate it. We appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate y'all in the chat. I'm trying to keep up with y'all, keep up with them. Let's see what else we got here. I'm going with the stuff that we have listed. Ask the twins,
I
what's the
want
most expensive luxury item they bought themselves?
freedom.
Freedom. There it is. Who said that?
Hey, for
Well, I want to
electro.
tell you, I just want to add to that, like, man, just to make it clear, like, people, podcasts, people always talk about the podcast, talking about the book. Like, look, man, I am sure of who we are. I think that for sure there would there hasn't been. I'm not sure there ever will be drug traffickers like my brother and I do believe and know that we probably ran one of the most successful drug trafficking organizations in the history of the United States, and we left it alone for a reason. Um, and people say you weren't built for that life. Oh yeah, you're telling me when you get there, you let me know. All right, uh, that was our life, right? We lived. There's no fiction. You hear it. We're when we talk about we're having relationship with these people, right? It's us. I don't think that there's another American out there that made it on both sides, of the border, right? Like my brother and I. But we left that life and we risked our life to leave that behind for a reason. And I think that people always, might have comments or whatever, which is fine. But I really believe that it doesn't matter what luxury, how much money we made, and I say it like it was a lot, but it didn't matter, right? It wasn't worth it, especially the price that we paid our family had paid back then, being in prison, and what you continue to see to this day. And people be like, "Well, you can make mistakes." No, you know what? In hindsight, not everyone's gonna make mistakes. We're fortunate and blessed, and hopefully that people could take our story and just learn from it, right? All those people who are aspiring to be in the street, it's hard. You could get out though. We show you. You're gonna have to sacrifice. Some way somehow, but you could do it.
And real quick for everyone who calls us rats, and I'm with you, man. I respect that. If you're just a square, I think I don't appreciate that. If you don't know nothing about the streets or about this life, now if you're on the other side, I think I don't want to like. This is what we used to say in there, and people were, when you're on my side after I cooperated, it was like you call me whatever, but call me at home.
Mm.
And then, too, I want to say something. Like, look, everyone has the choice. Everyone's part of the game. When people say it's not part of the game, man, I have more people telling me, and we had people that told us before that we never even met, never even knew about.
Yeah, you get into this
Everyone,
business, you know there's this part of the game, cooperation. It came together, If people weren't going to jail or weren't being told on, everybody'd be in the game.
Mm.
It's a risk you
yeah.
take.
Mm.
We didn't make the rules up.
But that being said, I think everyone has a choice. So every day we wake up, we have a choice. Everyone's given that choice. For all those people who feel like they couldn't do something like that because they suppose called friends, my respects to them. Uh, my brother and I, for sure, we never make excuses for what we did. You know, uh, we did what was best for us, and I'll continue
That
to feel
doesn't
that way.
mean it doesn't mean we don't think about those people who are not around. Like I said, you know, man, there's people still in prison, and my prayers go out to them. But they had a choice as well. Like when I first came in, I wanted everybody to make a deal. Like make a deal, let's just go home. Like at the end of the day, they didn't want them; they just wanted them to tell on us. And I think that everyone had the opportunity. They choose something different. I think my brother and I chose to be loyal to our families at the end of the day.
And that's what I chalked up Cartel Wives to. I felt like at the end of the day, I'm gonna do whatever it is I have to do for my family, and y'all could hold on to your opinions, and it's all good. Like you said, there's people that choose to stand on what they're gonna stand on. A square saying it is one thing, somebody else saying it is another, but even they can't judge it until they've been there and they've been in that position where somebody's staring down where they're staring down the barrel of life, and
Yeah.
looking at
Well,
extermination.
I think I
I,
like
I,
to say is this. Imagine, we're good at like assessing risk and when you do that and consequences, I would imagine myself sitting in a cell, facing, execution, the death penalty. And I would say, man, what would I regret? What would I have done different if I was in that situation? When you think about your family, your kids, your wife, and it makes you kind of see things in a different light.
Mm-hmm.
well, I'm gonna disagree with both of you. Like, man, it doesn't matter to me. A square could say whatever he wants. I don't live by those what people think.
No, I
I
get it.
like that's what it is. We put our story out. People are gonna have comments, but hopefully, they'll take it as a cautionary tale of what the life is. And I'm gonna tell you, there's so many smaller stories, so many stories that that we don't share. Like we're gambling each and every day
Hmm.
with our life. The fact that we're here has been blessing. I do feel like it's God's will for us to be here and put us in situations where we could move forward and hopefully make change. But um, it's one of those things that it's like we grew up in it, or before we even knew what I knew about it, and uh, we made the decision that was best for us, and um, money or the business of power never made us or changed us. This is who we've been.
Towards the end there, was that the first time that you guys got close to even considering or thinking about that, or was there ever another time where the pressure was on so thick that it was kind of like, man, maybe we should make this jump, or was that it?
Pressure, like you said, when I hear you say pressure, I feel like, man, there's pressure each and every day. Do you
Mm,
like just everyone's intelligent enough. Like you think about it, you can imagine stuff we were doing each and every day, who we were around.
mm-hmm.
Every time I jump in that plane or I jumped in that car, I used to be like, man, am I gonna make it back home? And it's like, no, these were all added, just added to them. Where it's like it's either gonna be now or never. And to make it clear, is like I think my brother and I were more scared of what we could become
Mm,
than what we were, and we made the decision based on that because what we were going to become was uh, couldn't involve any more family and no more kids and no more children. So
mm.
No, yeah, for sure. I don't think that ever crossed my mind. You start into this business early on, and you ain't got shit to lose, and you're just like, you know what? So what? Like, prison doesn't sound that bad when you ain't got nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But once you grow up a little bit and you start seeing the game for what it is, and you experience so much, and you live, and you made you can't go back to that first day, and you feel like there's no way out. Fuck it. But
Right.
when you do have that little spark of light, and like I said, you start thinking about the future, and spending the rest of your life in prison or something, and being away from your loved ones and seeing everything they suffered through and everything we suffered on our own, you know, um, and you're like,
You
man,
reach for that
you
light.
know, you
mm,
have to. I mean, you're trying to survive, and
Mm-hmm.
if my loyalty was gonna be to these people who don't give a shit about me, it was kind of weird. That was kind of the scenario I was in. Like, they'll execute me for nothing,
well,
for a maybe.
I want to add to that. Like, look, we idolize them too until you sit down, and next thing you know how people see them today. I see them more as like, what up, Try? What up,
Right.
Chopper? Like business
Yeah,
partners. You get me?
Right.
It's different. It was like it wasn't like I was looking at them like they're like I would not idolize. I idolize the Lord Jesus Christ, and that's it. After that, you know, and that was it. Like to us, it was like they're human and they're not the best of human, beings, and that was that.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to kind of understand that part of it.
Right.
hey, let me say what's up real quick to Chief, man. I see you, man, and Priscilla. Thank you, man, for your prayers and all your love from Chicago.
And you know
All of
what?
y'all.
Something I want to add as well too is for all those people, later on if they're coming home, for those people we're locked up with. I got a dear friend, Solo, who I appreciate. He's always in my prayers. Some people aren't gonna have the benefit of coming home, but I'm praying that one day he'll be able to be here and listen to this. And all those people we left behind, for sure when we're locked up. A lot of good dudes, right? And in different cities, but I just
Man,
want
everyone out there, like I said, we come across people like that with doing life in prison, man. We pray that, doors somehow, open up and give them an opportunity to come home. And, from Solo to Ray Edmonds to Gus
to, yeah.
Campos, man, to Tim and everybody out there, man, doing, long stretches, our thoughts are with you, man. There's so many good people we left behind, so many people I think about every day, and
Yeah, yeah. Big shouts out to Ray too, man. Uh, we've had a lot of great relationship with people that are going to be surprising to you, as you probably will come to know, in time.
Did you guys have workers as well that y'all maintained the relationship with even after
Oh
it all
man,
went
I
down,
can't
after
forget
the
all my,
cooperation, after the
yeah,
roll
man.
up?
All my guys out there, they know who they are to this day. The business was a business, but our friendship, our is different, right? Who we were, we still continue to have those relationships. So
Yeah.
shout out to all the guys.
Yeah, to everybody, man. They're family to us. They weren't just, some throwaways. We care about them and we think about them every day. And this whole process was hard.
At the end of the day, the
It's
jig was up.
Yeah, it's a hard life to live to leave behind. Like I said, you got to put yourself in our shoes. We had everything we ever wanted in a way, and you have to walk away from that. It's not easy, to turn your back on something like that. And thank God for opening our eyes to the truth and seeing it for what it was. And yeah, man, just a lot of suffering. Not only our family, everyone's family. I don't forget about those people. I know they had families too, and like I said, everyone has a choice.
Mm-hmm. Did you guys growing up have the because in a lot of us it's inbred that the snitching is a bad word, or was it something that y'all saw normally throughout your father's activities and shit like that, or your brothers what they were going through? Did you see a lot of people cooperating against other people and stuff like that? And was it part of the game, or was it something that you guys looked at like, that's some, these guys are pussies that ain't holding up?
I would always feel like, I mean, it was part of the life, and you kind of just you don't dwell on it too much. And I grew up reading paperwork and seeing, what the feds would do and trying to like outsmart them and trying to think how not to be in that situation. But it's part. I mean, what could you do? Like
Well,
I don't know.
I think we shared it. I think that in growing up, like in my father's era, for sure, man. Like that was the worst thing that could happen because my father blamed the cooperator. He never blamed himself, but he blamed someone cooperated against him, and but I think for my brother and I never someone snitched. Like, look, man, people who were around us know there's a lot of people who cooperate and were free, and I'd run into like I never said and listen, everyone's gonna do that no matter what. I never focus, or we never focus on what someone else was doing. We focus on what we were doing, plain and simple.
Right.
And did it make us be like, damn? Yeah, but at the same time, we already know we've been around that life before we were in it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like we were living it through other people, so it's
And
to
so,
us. It's like, all right,
Right. All right. Salutes Adrian Torres in the chat for the 199 super chat. He said, "How's Pete's health doing since his last kidnap? Was it a long? Was there long? I'm sure there was long lasting effects from everything that you've been through, not just mentally but physically. So that's his question. How's your health doing?"
man, I appreciate the concern. I honestly, I've been having kidney issues for a while now, and I kind of blame it back to them days, being tied up. And I guess it's a struggle every day. It's a concern. It's always on my mind. I try my best to take care of myself and do what I can. But like I said, what can we do, man? It's just pray for the best.
Right. Salutes. Appreciate you for answering that. Salutes to you, Adrian Torres, for the 199
Thank you,
super
Adrian.
chat. I appreciate you. Shout out to Kai. Kai said, Kai dropped a 999 super chat. I appreciate you for that, sir. Thank you very much. Here we go. This has been a big one right here too, Pete. This one's for you, buddy. Jay. I'm sure you're gonna have something to say about it too, because you both had run-ins with the man, and the man is part of y'all story in more ways than one. Can you share a little bit about Sammy the Bull? Did you tell him that he was the inspiration for your decision to cooperate? That seems like a Jay answer right there. And the rest of it, I'll go to Chief Keef. Did Sammy the Bull's daughter actually go off on one of the brothers' wives during the visitation? That might be your story, P. So I'll let y'all handle Sammy the Bull the way y'all want to handle him right now.
Man, Sammy. So we end up doing I end up doing almost what? Maybe almost 10 years with him. And he did, he was instrumental in helping us, learn to play chess. And he wasn't happy about getting his ass kicked on the game.
Let me say something real quick. Somebody said something. I forget who it was. If it was you, give yourself your props in the chat. Somebody said, "Isn't it ironic that the boys was playing chess their whole life with their life, and learned how to play chess once they once they got over there in prison and got to Sammy. And that is an ironic thing. You guys were playing chess and didn't know it. So salutes to you
Yeah,
guys learning how to play chess.
yeah, and yeah, and Sammy's a character, man, and he's a very jealous, you know, just piece of garbage, man. At the end of the day, and I could tell you, there's good things about him. He's a smart businessman, and I get nothing out of even speaking about him, but you know, he likes to tell the story, his point of view, and I don't think he's always truthful about his intentions. And he has a big following. He's a great storyteller, but he's a piece of garbage at the end of the day. He's jealous. He feels that everybody owes him something, and he thinks he's smarter than everyone. And all for anyone who says something like really great about him, you have to question them. If you really know him, then you'll see who he is. But at the same time, like I said, I think he's an intelligent person. He's a great businessman, and I took him into my cell. He lived with me for 8-9 months. I treated him like a respectful man. I looked out for him. I made sure he ate. I made sure he was good, and he just his jealousy just takes over. And I end up having problems with him. And that story he tells about it being some Puerto Rican dude, that was actually him. The guy, he was in a WITSEC unit in prison trying to start up his own mob family, and he was telling people certain things, and that person was trying to get a deal off his threats and stuff, and they went to the feds, and he got himself in another mess. Like it's common for him to be in those messes, and there's no reason for me to make that up. I get nothing out of that, and there was a big move, and we had issues, and I agree with him on one thing, that the government did believe his story, because he brought up some Coastal Nostra shit, saying that they don't bother families. It's all bullshit. He's a racist person. He tries to sugarcoat it, and he's full of shit. And he did tell me the story once, that he was upset that his family was jealous of my wife. And in his eyes, he felt like, why should my family be jealous of your family? And that kind of shows you the kind of character he has.
He says it with a smiling face. All my little savage nieces.
And then we'd get into it. Sometimes I'd be upset. He would try to push my buttons a little bit and tell me things about the cartel stuff and how they ain't shit. And I used to be like, whatever, Sammy. And I mean, it's just weird. Like he wasn't as mature as you'd think he would be for being like a almost 70-year-old man. Or, it's like, it's weird. But Sammy's full of shit for the most part, and I don't have no problem telling him that, because I took care of him. I made sure he ate. I made sure he was good, and out of the kindness of my heart, just because I see him as an older man, I would think about my dad being in prison, and and there was definitely times where plenty of people were gonna beat the shit out of him, and just because he was an older man, they would leave him alone,
Yeah, we're getting out.
That's hilarious. So there it is, y'all. That's Pete's side of the story right there. Jay, you got anything on Sammy the Bull?
Man, Sammy, I feel bad, hearing my brother talk like that about someone who I.
Hold on, we lost you, Jay.
mean, so those who know him,
We
and
lost you, Jay.
he
Go
could
back a
teach
little
me.
bit. What'd you say? All we heard was, I feel kind of bad to hear my brother, and that's all we heard.
To hear my brother, just I understand his sentiment. To speak to him, speak about him like that. I just I get it too. Sammy being Sammy. Anyone who knows him, he's just who he is, and I respect him as an older person. I think we're all flawed in some type of way, and he has his quirks, and and his wrongs for sure. Um, yeah, he taught us how to play chess. I had a relationship with him, with his daughter Karen, and stuff like that. And I just he's a lot older now, and I think that as you get older, people start kind of losing it a little bit. And I guess it's just gonna be another story, right? That's gonna be told about our life, that
Mm-hmm.
um, that just
Yeah,
so
and this
crazy,
time
right?
two separate ones because the relationship that you have with him and the relationship that Pete had with him is, complete two different
Yeah,
things.
yeah,
And
for
I'm sure
sure.
he's like I said, he has everyone has the right to their opinion. I'm not trying to change their mind. I'm not saying like, he probably there's probably things that I did that he didn't like. Like he didn't like, certain people like, gravitating towards us or having, like that they respected us a little bit more than they did him. But it was because of his flaws, his character.
But yeah, but I think for the most part, it's Italian guys, they don't like being outshined or anything, and it's just a new day and age, right? Especially when we showed up in prison, it's like uh, it was different. Before it was Italian guys, Italian guys, Italian guys, and now here we are, and it was hard for them to adjust for sure.
Yeah, no,
Hey,
he
hey,
got
Shy.
a little hater in him, man.
Yeah, hey, Shy. I hate to do this to you, bro.
Gotta get out of here. It's all good.
Man, look, I'm gonna tell you, there is gonna be a next time. I just want to thank you, bro, for for everything, and I hope that you continue, to do great. I have no problem getting back on, collect those questions, right? Those views. Let's see what else you could work on, and I'm just tell you, like, I believe in you. I believe in your channel, your 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 point of view, right? And I'm thankful that I was able to meet you and do this with you for sure. I really hope that it helps out some way somehow.
Likewise, sir. We got a whole lot more to cover. I appreciate you coming and giving me your time, your valuable time. I appreciate it. In the future, we'll get to more of these questions. To my audience, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all for being here and showing love to the boys
I
and
got a
letting them
couple
know that we're
minutes,
here.
Shy. I mean, I got a couple minutes
Yeah,
with you, man.
That's cool. I
I'm gonna
appreciate
go,
you,
but
Jay.
before
Thank
I
you,
go,
Jay.
whoever listens to this, I want to tell you, man. There's possibility for you to change your life, man. It's gonna come with sacrifice. I'm not just talking about if you're in drug trafficking. I'm talking about in any type, of those environments that could be hard, a job, a relationship. Man, I think our life is a testament, right, of change, right? Today, I'm teaching law enforcement, across the country. I'm working on doing some really big things, and coming from where we come from, little village, right? It's usually bad, but here I am doing something positive, doing some good, right? And I'm hoping that I'll be given the chance to continue, like uh, do something positive, and hopefully by the time God calls me, I'll have left a positive legacy. You know, um, or my family for sure. So I think that's what I think at the end of the day our story is about. Um, is about that we all have the will and the power to change, no matter what it is, right? Um,
If there's ever been a redemption story, you guys are it.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's my biggest goal is that at the end of the day I do strive to want to have the best redemption story that especially for our culture to be able to look at as an example, right? That we could start off so wrong and and we could end up in a different place, right? And I hope that through my life's work that I'm continuing to doing, in a couple of days I'll be in Washington D.C., right? Uh, Speaking to representatives of the Republican committee, right? And those opportunities would have never came unless I started back then. So if you look at our story where we started off and what we became and what we're doing now, I think it's a testament of will and God's grace and and redemption and family and love for sure.
Man, I appreciate you, bro. You're killing it. Keep killing it. Do your thing out there. Show them who's boss. Again, send our respect and our love to Val. We appreciate you a million times for
Yeah.
being here, and we hope to see you again soon.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Hey, God bless to everyone out there in the chat, right? For all those people who are keeping up with our story, right? There's a lot more to come. Hopefully, to be more positive things than negative. And for sure, I'll make sure I let Valerie know. And thank you so much. All right.
For sure.
God bless you. All right.
You
Hey,
got it.
Pete. Yeah. You have a good night, man.
Saludos to the kids, bro.
Okay, for sure. God bless,
All
bro.
right, peace. We ain't going nowhere, y'all. Stay tuned. Stay involved. Don't run away. We still got time with Pete over here. Salutes to you, Pete. I appreciate you for staying a couple of more minutes. Thank you very much.
No problem, man. It's my pleasure. I love the interaction of your channel as well, man. Everyone's hella dope on there.
Yeah, man, it's fun, man. We don't there's not we had like one asshole the other day. I gave him a 24-hour time out. He disappeared. So we do pretty good over here. We got a bunch of good people on the line over here. So shout out one son. He said, thank God for Jesus Christ.
Amen, man. Give him a chance, man. I mean, just give him a chance. That's for
Let's
sure.
see what we got
He's
out
done
here.
amazing things in my life, and even though
Please,
we're still going through it, man, I see the light at the end of the tunnel. That's for sure.
good. I'm glad you see that because it's easy for shit to get dark, bro.
Yeah,
You got
for
anything
sure,
that you
man.
think we haven't talked about that you want to talk about? Anything we
Nothing
haven't?
comes to the top of my head, man.
Nothing
That's for
comes to the
sure.
top of your head, so then we're gonna make it
Oh
easy for you.
man, for sure. One thing I want to say to all those people out there on the streets, man, just think about what you're doing and think about the people you involve. The DA and the government. When they come, they don't leave no no stone unturned.
Mm,
They look deep into your situation and look at you give your wife something, you give your girlfriend something, your mom something, your sister something. They could be locked up with you.
right.
And when they come for everything. They
For
come for the
everything.
money that wasn't even illegal. So it's just something to think about, man. Think about your family situation. Think about your loved ones.
Right. That's
I
what's
don't
up.
think it's worth it, man. You're trying to do it for some car on the street to look good in front of other people for a
That's what it
watch on
be.
your wrist. I
It
mean,
be for
it's
some
a
sneakers
big price
sometimes.
to
Yeah.
pay.
Shout out Alfredo Beltran in the chat for the dollar super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you for that, sir. Um, uh, just a softball right here. Jonathan Pantoja, one of the usual suspects, asked if your kids or yourselves are sneakerheads.
Mm, man, I could tell you after being locked up for so long, and you just learn to like the simplicity, man. Like you learn to need for nothing in a
Mm,
way. And that stuff starts being like whatever. Okay, it's nice to have, but whatever. It doesn't like make me feel any different. To spend $1,000 on some shoes or $60.
mm-hmm.
It doesn't. You know, but you gotta kind of live through what I lived through to understand that. Whether you're in a Kia or a Bentley. You know what I mean? It doesn't
Right.
make me feel any different. I've been there, and for my kids, of course, they're sneakerheads. Try to convince them of that. They give me side eye.
He said, "Of
They
course,
want
they're
all that.
sneakerheads." Um, somebody had asked if you had read I guess it's the Traidor Vicente Zambada's book, and they were asking if you read it and what was your thoughts on it.
I think that it was a good book. Again, it's coming from a third person,
I
like
haven't.
her interviews with him, and I think that they don't share too much. He was already in custody, so it doesn't go deep into his personal stuff. And it was interesting though. Like any show on TV, anything you see, I heard them ask about Narcos. It's gonna be 30 to 50% true, or 30 to 60%
Right,
true,
right,
and the rest is just made for TV. And I
absolutely.
I appreciate the production. It's entertaining, keeps you watching. But I don't I think it's still far from the reality of things.
Right. Not only goth. Somebody else asked, do you guys get to see each other ever?
We have been able to see each other. I think we shared that in the podcast a number of times, but not often. No, FaceTime.
Shout out to Electro. Electro said, and I'm gonna say twin. He said twins, but I'm gonna say, and I know this is for a fact for you. In your walk, it says, twins. How did you find God?
Man, I think the most relevant moment for me, obviously, was during my kidnapping. When you make peace with the Lord, man, and you just think like, I'm not gonna make it out of this one,
Hmm.
and you ponder on that. Like you ponder heaven and hell. You know,
Hmm.
you think about all the bad choices you've made, all the people you've hurt, all the things you've done, and it makes you kind of like almost makes you fearful. Like, damn, if you know, I might meet him on the other side, and
Right,
and who am I?
right.
And I think that those moments, like I left that moment in my life thinking I have to figure this out, this question about God, you know?
Hmm.
And thank God that He gave me an opportunity to get to know Him. And my relationship really started like in prison, you know? There were some amazing, talented people that I met in prison that were able to share the word inside out and you know, and really educate you, you know, on the Bible, you know? And thank God for those people doing the work, you know?
Right. Salute to a few there, and that's why people. That's why he gave props to JC for his walk, because JC's on the same
Yeah.
type of walk. You know.
And it's not easy, man. You know, I think about it. It's so true. When I was out there doing all kinds of, you know, bad things, everything felt like it was good. The minute I try to do the right thing, everything gets hard, you know. And I
Mm,
feel like that's the evil stuff at work, you know, trying to pull you back.
mm, absolutely. Chucky Chingon said, "Pizza soldier salutes." Boom, 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 boom. Let's see what else. Chief Keef said, "What do they plan on doing for the next 50 years? Do they get bored? Do you play video games? Do they work out often? What's your favorite memory of being in the game?" I mean, I'm sure there's good memories left over. I mean, there's a lot of, you know, you caught a lot of strays, you know, in the game, but I'm sure there was some good times. Can you think of a good time in the game?
I mean, it's always good, like when you were getting on, and you know, we it felt like we had the whole world against us. You know, my brother and I were young.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we were just teenagers, early teens, and
Mm-hmm.
we kind of like came up against my brother's generation, you know, putting us down, you know,
Mm,
and you know, K kind of fit into that generation as well, and it was kind of hard to like overcome those obstacles,
right,
but it felt hella good to be on top, you know.
right.
I mean, at that time, we're like to be able to just do things that you never imagined you could do, you know, and of course the spoils of it, you know, felt good for a while, you know.
Mm,
But I think the biggest thing was always being able to help people out, you know?
mm,
That's for sure. Being able to like get your family out those situations, you know, get out the
absolutely.
neighborhood, you know, get out the hood, you know, stop worrying about those things and you know, tell my nieces and nephew like go to school, you know, don't worry about nothing. You know, your family, like I'm gonna take care of you guys, you know?
Yeah, a lot of people don't see that the same way people with legit jobs that make good money, that do help people, that want to help people, it's the same feeling for somebody that gets their money however they get their money. You know, if you're a person that wants to help, you know, you do it however you can get it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the goal, man. I got into the business to get money, to get out the hood, to get out of the, you know, being poor, you know?
Right.
It wasn't just about being in the club and you know, I'm not one of them dudes that wants to just go and I'm not gonna throw no money up in the air and I'm not gonna do that, you know? That in the beginning, of course, is part of what it comes with. You know, you're out there, you know, kind of trying to make a name for yourself and letting people know. But once you start kind of getting it, it's like, you know, you don't have to do that anymore, you know?
Right.
Like you want to take care of those people around you always.
Right. Make sure everybody's good and don't have no worries
Mm-hmm.
as best as you
Yes,
can.
for sure.
Chucky Chingong asked, "Do you think how did Saul get at y'all so many times? Did he have an inside man in your crew?"
Honestly, he man, my first interaction with him, that he was a little jealous, you know, individual. I bumped into him at the mall. I remember he had a bunch of bags in his hand. I didn't know who he was at the time, but he was upset over the girl that was taking care of us not like helping him right away. And I remember asking like, "Who is that?" And I remember they said he was getting money somewhere, and I'm thinking to myself, "Man, how come I never heard of him?" You know,
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't know that his way of getting money was just robbing and stealing, setting people up. You know, like
Right.
he wasn't out there really hustling. You know,
Right.
and so that kind of stood with him. You know, I don't know if that was like a thing that he disliked. You know, and he was good at what he did. He focused on robbing people day and night. You know, and I do believe the second time or third time that he did that stuff to us, he did have some inside help. You know.
Mm. There you go. That's your answer. All right. Let's see what else. Yeah, and you let me know when you're ready to get out of here, Pete. No worries.
No, for sure.
I'm not holding you holding you back. Let's see. Did you guys ever give serious thought into escaping? This is from Flasco. Did you guys ever give serious thought into escaping to another country and changing identities rather than cooperating?
Of course, man. It was that was our first thought, but you weren't ever gonna get that off your shoulders, man. You got a life sentence hanging over your head. You want to wait? Do you want to risk that? Do you want to be somewhere in Spain and they grab you like they did Chino Antrax and you're done?
Mm,
And you're being extradited back to the U.S. the next day.
right.
I mean, then to face those things, and then of course leaving your family behind. Are they gonna want to move with you? I mean, there was a lot, and then you got to think about how do you. There's so many obstacles in that. You could run, then how do you take care of yourself, like while you're on the run?
Right. How you gonna make more money?
No, not even the money part. Like, how do you move a boatload of money out overseas?
Oh, right.
How do you do that? How do what do you? It was just so many,
Yeah, it's like
questions.
creating new routes all over again in other
Yeah,
countries and shit.
and then you're thinking like, man, then they catch you one day and you're done. The life you were chasing just is not promised to you.
Right.
I mean, it sounds good, but it's not a movie. It's reality. You gotta think about the consequences. Like
Right.
the risk. I used to think, oh man, I'll go to Canada and just
Right.
and figure it out. But again,
Checking
they
in the
catch you
sense.
and you're done.
Hmm.
Imagine they catch you not within a year, not 5, 10, 15 years, and your opportunity to even to make a deal or to save yourself is
Off the
gone.
table. Right. Yeah.
And then now you have, instead of facing those 2, 3 indictments, now you have 25 of them.
Right. How do you feel about people always pointing y'all out when with bringing out Chapo, but not talking about Vicente Zambada uh, testifying?
I mean, that's the thing that people don't understand about how this game really works. You have to get to the top to understand it. Just kind of see the dirtiest part of it. That I hate to say it this way, but at the end of the day, it becomes like a business deal. You making a deal to save yourself.
Mm.
And they look at it just like that, like whether they were gonna kill you or set you up. And just part of the game. And this is what we do.
Right.
And I just didn't want to be one of those victims.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird though because his dad continues to operate in such a high level, and he could give green light to his sons cooperating and turning people in. But at the end of the day, he's not God. I don't need his okay.
Right.
I mean, I'm gonna like his son ain't more important than myself. Or my own kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that no matter what, people might not understand this, but they respect that.
Out there, they respect it.
They respect it. I mean, they might not like it, but they respect it.
Right.
I didn't have nobody's blessing. I didn't have no one's help.
Right. Um. Let's see what we got here. Have you guys ever had a run-in with Griselda Blanco?
Oh man, she was locked up already by the time we were in the game.
Mm.
You know. But she is a character. I continue to watch. I started watching the series. I'm entertained by it. I don't look for it to be factual.
Yeah, yeah, me either.
But it's entertaining.
Kai asks, was all good with the production crew at the end. They seem to omit you and Viv, Pete.
Yeah, like I said it from the beginning, I wasn't fond of it. It's not the route I would have chosen to take on my own. I'm not a podcaster. I'm not a YouTuber. And it's hard to kind of reveal so many aspects of your personal life
Right.
to the public, and I wasn't always happy with everything. I could tell you that. And Viv wasn't, especially not while we're dealing with so much.
Right.
And some of the stuff is not for show.
Mm-hmm.
And
Great.
you're suffering through a lot. Your kids suffering, and it's hard to open up and to share things.
Right. Yayo says, how do you feel about what's going on with Musico?
And Musico's an amazing person, man. He was a gentleman, and I see that he continues to grow, and you see that the good people in the business grow and get to the top most of the time, you know, and that a lot of people respect him. And to me, it's weird because the success of it is like turned upside down in my eyes. Like it's almost a bigger failure when you're getting that high up, you know,
Mm,
because you're gonna come crashing down
right, the
eventually, you
greater the
know.
fall. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and it's but again, it's the life you know, and you stick to it until someone stops you, you know.
Hmm. To lose. Jonathan B said a lot of people always have good things to say about Arturo Beltran Leiva. How was it working with him? Any stories?
Man, he was a boss, man, 100% all the way, you know, and when we started working with them, like they weren't introducing drugs themselves into the United States. It was a strictly like Mexico. Like you could buy the drugs from him there, and it wasn't easy to get into his inner circle. And he had a lot of respect from a lot of people, and I don't think that sat well with the other people. That he had covered. Was gaining so much ground,
Mm.
and he did so much. He was like for the Sinaloa cartel. He was a huge part of it. He was never like just a little dude in the business,
Right.
and he had so much control. And I don't think that the other people, like that. And I think that's where the jealousy starts. And and like I said, he didn't have to do anything wrong, but just the jealous vibes. Look at they turned their back on him.
That's all it took.
And that, over here we're supposed to be like all about the streets. You're like you never call the cops. You don't tell on no one, not even if it's your worst enemy, which is kind of stupid in my when you look back, when you really think about it.
Right.
But down there, I mean, they just use it as a tactic.
Yeah.
And at first I would question that, like, well, why? If you really don't want them in your team or you don't want them around, why don't you kill them? Or that's what you guys do anyways. Why are you setting them up?
Right.
And it was just a way for them to stay on top and continue to do business as usual. They turn in whoever they want and whoever they to help themselves and kill the others.
Right. Whatever's good for business that day.
Yeah, and when you witness this and you're in the circle, you're like, damn, that could be me.
Right. Somebody had asked if what was your relationship, or if y'all had a relationship or any feelings about Damaso, and how you feel about the Chapitos.
Man, Damaso was like a super respectful man as well, super intelligent. I think he was core to Chapo's operation, of course. You know,
This
he
is the
was,
father, right?
yeah, the father. He was like his right hand man, and he was on the street, like he was out there, like doing things, helping them grow. So he was, essential to him. And my interactions with him we had a pretty good relationship. And what was the second part of that
The
question?
Chapitos.
I like our dealings with them was they were as young as we were. I think me and Ivan are like about the same age. Alfredillo's a couple years younger than us. Archivalo, I think. I mean, we're all about the same age, but they were a little bit more greener. They were a little protected at first. And Chapo really wanted us to kind of like hang out and do business together, kind of teach him what we were doing. And they were real. How could I tell you, man? Like the way you would imagine a prince, to the king, spoiled
Game of Thrones.
and yeah, a little ruthless. Like they didn't understand the relationship part.
Mm.
And for my brother and I, like we were young, but nobody gave us that. We were able to, do business with the dads, the heads, and
Right.
it was not something we were used to, like trying to like uh, school some young dude on how to, take care of business,
Right.
the right way.
Mm. Okay. All right, on the way out, I'm not gonna hold you much longer. I got a good one here from Yael. I think you got a definite answer for this. How did Pete know Viv was the one?
Man, she man, Viv is a beautiful, beautiful woman. From the moment first met her, I thought she was like probably the prettiest girl I had ever met. And she stood in my mind always, and we were friends for a long time. And somehow, some way, you get drawn, pulled towards someone, and she would constantly be on my mind, and we became good friends. And I just wanted to see her in a good place, even when I wasn't with her, And I think destiny really brought us together, and it was in. I mean, I'm still shocked that she even gave me a chance. How about that? And that that relationship blossomed to what it is today. We've been together we've been married now for almost 19 years. So it's been a long road, and I'm super grateful. She's been the best part of my life so far, for sure.
That's what's up. And it stood the test of time and trial and tribulation and all kind of other shit on top of it.
Amen, man. She's like, I mean, not many women would, want to put up with so much,
Right.
And that's why, I give her the best of me every day. And I tell you, I've told you that before, Shad, that, when it comes to my wife, like I never treat her like some girl, random girl, or she's my life partner. She's my wife. She deserves all my respect, and I give her that every single day,
Right.
And I think everyone should treat their significant other that way, and she kept me like in a line of how could I say, kept me grounded, and that was important, in my life when everything was corruptible, like not to corrupt home,
Not to corrupt home. Yeah, a lot of people forget that part.
Yeah, you corrupt home, and then you lose sight of the good things in life. You think everything's just, you know, for sale in a way.
Right. Um. Let's see here. Shout out Diego Aguiniga for the $4.99 super chat. He asked which which of the twins Sammy the Bull didn't like. Saludos desde Michoacán. And I put in the chat this twin. This
Yeah,
was the twin Sammy
puro
didn't
para
like.
adelante, compa.
All right, salutes to you, Diego. Thank you for being here. Shout out to Jose Fonseca for the $9.99 super chat. How does he feel about these young artists like Peso glorifying cartels?
I mean, I don't know if they're glorifying that. I mean, it's just part of the music, the same way we got hip hop and rap and all that stuff. They're just telling a story, portraying what goes on, and I enjoy the music. I'm a big fan of all the new music. I love that the Mexican culture has their own space now, and I'm a big fan. Like I said, I love hip hop. I love those corridos. I love what they're doing with Fuerza Regida, Peso Pluma, everybody. Junior H. I'm a big fan of all that. And like I said before, it was weird because we were first in Mexico, and like we were loud ass jewelry and 10-carat earrings. Everybody thought it was weird. Like
Right, because they're
you
in
got
trucker hats, jeans, boots, and
yeah.
flannels and shit.
And I could do that too. Like I love
Right.
wearing my hat and my boots, and but they kind of almost looked at us like clowns.
Right.
I told you they used to call us like Daddy Yankees, and now it's like that's the way to go. Like everyone's doing it.
All right, everybody doing it. Shout out Bianca Finnegan in the chat. All right, man. Let me see. How can I? Again, I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank everybody else for being here. It's been a great time. And I think we got to everything that we're gonna get to today. One question. Does Pete think Amado Carrillo? What does Pete think of Amado Carrillo Fuentes? And does he think he's still alive?
Man, he's definitely not alive. And I came, a little later into the world, and when I was around the people, I mean, they all respected him. They spoke like kind-hearted about him, and they would tell stories about him and say "mi compadre Amado," in such a positive way. So he was one of the unique ones. Like everybody respected him.
Nice. Man, bro. With that being said, bro, I appreciate you, bro. I'll let you be on your way for the day. I'm hoping we can do this again one day soon. It's been a hell of a ride. It's been a lot of fun, and I appreciate you guys for believing in what I'm doing and coming here and letting it be known that, that Chicago still means something to y'all and that, y'all are looking out for the little guy. You know
Man,
what I'm saying? This
I
is the
love the
little channel
shy.
that wish you would.
I just want to see your channel blow up for real. I want to see you continue to grow your channel, continue to put out that good content, continue talk the shit you talk, bro. You're super intelligent, and I enjoy it. Whenever I can, I'm listening in. I'm reading the comments, and I appreciate how much you covered our story as well. And we can we hope to continue to produce content that people are interested in. And
Absolutely.
again, maybe go back and check out the podcast or continue, waiting on what's next for us.
Right. Did they write any kind of corridos about y'all? That was another question that was in
I'm gonna tell you this: if they did, they probably were forbidden to ever, sing about them.
there. Ooh, okay. I'm agreed. That's probably it's probably what it is. That's probably what it is. Shout out Priscilla Estrada said hashtag free Vivi. Maybe we gotta put out some hashtag free Vivi shirts. Um,
And
let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much it though. So Pete, man, I appreciate you. I will keep doing my thing. You keep doing yours. Let's stay in contact. You let me
for
know
sure,
whenever you got
guys,
something to say, and we'll make it happen.
and everybody who follows the story, man, we thank you guys. We thank you for all the support, and thank you for your questions, man. All those people you see, Old Soul, Chuck Chingon, JP the Ghost, Jonathan, everyone. Kai, I see them commenting all the time. I see them participating. I know there's a couple of them that I miss. Adrian Torres, all of them. I see them, and I appreciate the way you guys follow the story.
For sure. We appreciate you. With that being said, we'll say Sarah Lee said thank you to the Flores twins for
Mm-hmm.
coming to this channel. Thank you.
Yes, we look forward to the next time, man. Like I said, maybe we'll get into some, other questions and some things that we left, up in the air.
I'm with it, bro. Let's do it, man. You be safe. Have a good one. Saludos to
You
the
too,
wife.
man.
Saludos
For
to the
sure. I
children.
appreciate that. Good night to all of you guys. Thank you guys again for attending.
Appreciate you, bro. Thank you.
And
Have a good night.
let's share the channel, man. Let's do this.
Share the channel. You heard the man. Get it done. All right, P.
All right, bro. God bless,
All
man.
right,
God bless
peace.
you all. Yeah.
All right, y'all. We did it. We did it. We couldn't get to every single question, but we got to a lot of them. I'm interested in rereading the live chat later. I'm sure there was a lot going on. I'm sure there's a lot of questions that I missed, but I was doing the best that I could. But I think it was a good night. I think it was a great conversation. The boys didn't turn down one question. They said what they had to say. They said what they had to say. They let it be known, and I appreciate that. So saludos to y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for being here. How y'all feel? How y'all feeling right now, huh? How y'all feeling right now? I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good. Don't mind me. I'm gonna keep talking. I'm feeling pretty good. Everything went off without a hitch. We didn't have no technical difficulties. The boys didn't turn down any. They didn't turn down any questions. They came here to tell the story, and they did, and they made it clear that they will be back. And again, they are for the underdog. I will say this. At the beginning of these reactions, when I started doing this with the Surviving El Chapo, listen, I'm a natural born cynic. I come from where I come from. You know what I'm saying? And you got to convince me. And again, I didn't know the story. And when we would hear things about their character, I remember saying at the beginning of the Surviving El Chapo podcast, I remember saying, listen, man, everybody seems to attest to them being good guys, more businessmen than gangsters, but not pushovers, but they're just businessmen. They understand the game. You know what I'm saying? And I used to doubt it. I used to doubt all the vouching that people did for their character. But the proof is in the pudding. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, they came to the little channel that wish you would and showed up and showed out for a dude that they didn't have to show up and show out for, you know, and I appreciate that. Ruben Contreras said, bro, I called off work to see this live. It was worth it. I appreciate you, Ruben. Please don't do that. Keep me out of that one. You know what I'm saying? Salutes to Gracie. I appreciate you being here. Chucky Chingon per usual. But yeah, man, like, you know, you'd have to prove it to me, prove their character. And again, their character lived up to the situation, you know. They're here right now. They came through and they said their piece, and they will be back. So, you know, it's been a long time coming, and we made it there. We did that. So I appreciate you guys for being here. You know, real American gangsters. They need an episode, said Chucky Chingon. Facts. You know, and super. I can't wait to read the live chat after the fact. I'm looking forward to it. Y'all was wilding. Because usually, you know, it's a little bit slower in here. I get to kick it with y'all. We had a lot of people in here, and I appreciate y'all for that. For those of you that are not here on a regular, we do this on a regular basis, and I know y'all can't be here every time, but please, when you can, show up. Show up. Because we talking that good shit over here. You know what I'm saying? If you into true crime and you into cartels and you into all that stuff, sometimes we deal with dumb cops, sometimes we deal with dumb criminals, but we always here and we always hanging out. So, you know, it is what it is. We throw the middle finger to the man. Ruben Contreras did that. Usually I ask people, you know, you can hide it, but throw that middle finger to the man. Ruben Contreras gave it to him big time today. Big time today, man. I appreciate you all, man. Salutes. It was a good interview. I'm glad y'all feel good about it, you know. They were very generous with their time. Shout out Jonathan. They were very generous with their time. Absolutely. Again, they, you know, they call it supporting. I say they did the favor. You know, they put me over. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate them for that. Let's hope that this interview picks up some traction. I'm going to cut it down into pieces and into subjects and put those videos out there one at a time. Let's hope that these stories get picked up by blogs and the blogosphere, and let's hope these stories get picked up by all of these, you know, these outlets that are covering the subject. But, you know, we are, when it comes to the Flores twins, I'd like to think we are the gold standard here. You know what I'm saying? We are all the way in with their story. We've been there. We've known it from the beginning. We've been paying attention to it from the beginning, and they've been here to look out. You know what I'm saying? So salutes to them, salutes to their wives, salutes to their children for sharing them with us. And, you know, it was a good night. It was a good night. It was a lot of work. Tomorrow I got to be an editor on this channel and get these videos out. But I also got to be an actor and rehearse for my gig on Monday. I appreciate y'all. It's been a long, long week. Also said Johnny Mitchell going to be sick. So a lot of people going to be sick. And a lot of people are going to say they came over here and wasted their time. And a lot of people are going to say that I threw them softballs. And a lot of people are going to say that we didn't talk about snitching. We talked about snitching. You know what I'm saying? But it don't matter what a lot of people say. It matter what I say and it matter what y'all say. And I appreciate y'all for being here. You know, the rest of it, y'all can kiss my entire ass. I'm not here, you know. I don't come from that school of, you know. I too do not live by committee. You know what I mean? You know, so it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm glad you guys enjoyed yourself. The chat was the biggest it's ever been. We broke 100 concurrent viewers in here at one time. If you have yet to hit the like button, please do. Rest assured, I will be reading the chat later to see what was popping. Ruben Contreras said, Al Prophet is punching the air right now. You know, I appreciate y'all. Let me run through the this chat is all the way at the end, so I can only shout out the people here. Shout out Ducky, Alec. Shout out Old Soul, Ian, usual suspect. Shout out Chief Keef, Adrian Torres, usual suspect. Priscilla Estrada, shout out to you. I appreciate you. Shout out Chucky Chingon per usual. Gio, Bianca Finnegan, salutes to you. Mike Jones, Vernon Himes, Toro, Ruben Contreras, Flasco, I appreciate you. We got your question out. Perfecto J777, salutes to you. Electro, Ariza, Mr. Ducky, JP the Ghost, one of the usual suspects. Who else we got in here? Natasha Ruth, Vernon Hines for sure, always in the building. Even shout out to Chad Devine. I know he gonna catch this replay. Who else we got in here? Alfredo Beltran, salutes to you. Felix Reyes, per usual. Jason Sandoval, thank you. DJ 20s, thank you very much. Jonathan Pantoja, salutes to you, dog. You a champion. I appreciate you. Jose Fonseca, salutes to you. Gracie Diaz, I love you, girl. Salutes to you. Eduardo Jimenez, per usual. Salutes. Felix Reyes. Who else we got here? One Son 20. Salutes. Who else we got down here? Any newbies around here? Let me see if we find some newbies around here. 323G, salutes to you. No newbie in you. Jose Garcia, I appreciate you. What else we got down here? Sean Ray, it's been an honor to lead the Ronda Strong Bible study, open for all who want to learn about the Lord. Salutes to you, Sean Ray. Gio, salutes to you. Tommy D, I forgot your question. I wanted to get to that one, but that is a great question for next time. And if you're Tommy, feel free to come talk to me. Yayo, salutes to Yayo, per usual, always here. Kai, salutes to you. I appreciate you, brother. Victor Rodriguez, appreciate you. Jonathan B. Ariza, Nate Money, appreciate you, bro. Diego, thank you for coming through. Appreciate everybody that super chatted. Everybody that had a question. I appreciate you guys. Victor Rodriguez, Dolo Solo, salutes to you. Sarah Lee, per usual, thank you very much. John Vasquez, salutes to you from Waukegan, Illinois. We're close to the bottom here. B Sneaks TV, thank you very much for being here. Y'all can start throwing them hundreds in the chat. If y'all haven't already, I'm still scrolling. Felix Reyes, Yael, salute to you, per usual. If I'm messing up anybody's names, let me know, man. I like to do it the right way. Y'all let me know. Let's see what else we got. It's going to be fun going through here. Man, thank you guys, bro. Shout out Fuerza Regida. Yeah, very dope. I've been checking them out. They're very dope. Give yourselves a round of applause. I'm going to have another shot. I'm going to have another beer. I'm going to smoke something. I'm going to have it square. Tomorrow I'm going to be an editor. I'm going to rehearse being an actor. Monday I'm going to be an actor. Tuesday I'm going to be a Theo. And then Wednesday I'll be back with another live. I'll have edited videos popping by then. Or maybe it'll be just edited videos. I'll keep y'all posted. 030 North. Salutes to 030 North in the building. I don't know why he's saying 6'9". But 030 North. One of the usual suspects. I appreciate you, bro. Also, my brother, I appreciate you. The shit went off without a hitch. We did this before anybody else on YouTube got the Flores twins. We got the Flores twins. They can say what the fuck they want. You know what I'm saying? Salutes to the Flores twins. And it wasn't no glorification. And it wasn't it was a good conversation amongst men. I appreciate that. And I appreciate y'all. It was nothing but respect in the crowd, you know. Look, we're not here to not ask them the tough questions. We're here to ask them the tough questions. So if you got those questions, let them questions fly. You know what I'm saying? But we're also not here to be assholes to anybody and just treat anybody like shit. Even if Finnegan, y'all knowing the way I feel about Finnegan, even if Finnegan were to come on our show, I would never come here and just try to treat him like less than a man. You know what I'm saying? That's not what it is. Not even if it was Saul. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to come at him respectfully, but I'm going to let him know how I fucking feel. And it is what it is. Also said talk your shit. Absolutely. So I appreciate you guys. My hundreds up in the chat for y'all. We did it. It was a good one. Now let's get these videos. Let's get this live. 100,000 views. Let's get the edited version and all the little clips that I cut. Let's get them 100,000 views, and then we'll catch these guys on the next episode that we do together, and we just move on from there. I appreciate y'all for being with me. Thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure. You guys are the best. All right. So with that said, I'm gonna get out of here, and we're gonna do it with What can we do it with? Let me see. So Know That You're Loved is what I usually play. Or Running to Where. Mr. Dougie made the Saul face. Saul face look just like that emoji right there. Like it'll punch a puppy, kick a bunny. Just a jealous prick. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you guys. We're gonna get out of here with Know That You're Loved. You know why? Because sometimes people are in a dark place and we don't know it, and we just want them to know that they're loved. So we're gonna do Know That You're Loved on the way out of here. Alright, we're gonna do Know That You're Loved on the way out of here. And I'm gonna appreciate y'all, and we're gonna stay in contact throughout the week. We're gonna keep this game moving. If y'all guys wanna go give that a replay and listen to the interview again, make sure y'all didn't miss nothing. Do that too. But it is what it is. We showed up and we showed out, and so did them. So did they. You know what I'm saying? How many times do you hear people just canceling on you and shit like that? Nah, they wasn't playing them games.
That's a small
They
business.
wasn't playing no games. They was here to answer questions. They was here to talk. They didn't shut down nothing. So salutes to them. You know, shout out to me as a producer. This shit went off without a hitch. Chad Divine in the building. I told you was going to be on the show. I told you you was going to be on the show. Very cool to hear them say you would make good, big bro. Salutes to you, Chad Divine. It wouldn't be right if you didn't check in the live chat. So I appreciate you for being here, bro. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Ducky said the hard track that was on the Andy episode the other day. Yeah, I'm going to play that one. It's 2 verses. It's long hooks. It's just time to meditate and know that you are loved. So y'all are loved. Loved by me. I appreciate y'all. Gracie said round of applause to you. Shai, round of applause back. Goth Beauty. Salute to Goth Beauty, one of the usual suspects. I appreciate you. She was up in here. She was in here early. You know what I'm saying? Ready to go. So I appreciate y'all. And again, know that y'all loved. And let's get it. When it's hard to see the road in the distance, when the only thing you know is you're distant. When it's hard to hold your soul when you lift it, when you're broken and you can't leave your kids shit. When you try but your eyes tell lies, your smiles are disguised, and no one knows you dying inside. When it hurts to feel, when you're bothered by the world, it's real. When you're staring at that bottle of pills, the bottom of that bottle of swill, the wrong end of that cold black steel, the great unknown. When everywhere but here's like home, you a man now but don't feel grown. Pushed through existence, current comfort zone is indifference. So uncomfortable in your skinness, hurting everybody you live with. When you're feeling like it's time you should end this, know that you're loved. Know that you're loved. Know that you're loved. Just know that you're loved. 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 Know that you're needed. Know that you're necessary. You just depleted. You can be legendary. You not beneath it. You can get over. We can ride in and thieve it. Soak up a sunrise. Stare at a blue sky. Feel something brand new. Realize with new eyes. Uncover new truths. Find where the pain lies. Live like you're lightning. Cut through the gray skies. I know life is frightening. You can't help but ask why. Life doesn't like me. It's passing me right by. The future just fights me. And much rather I die than have to enlighten me and show me how I'd rise if given a chance. Some love in advance, a bit of compassion, some luck with romance. But why does it matter? Will is what does. You have the will to survive, so know that you're loved. Know that you're loved. Know that you're loved. Know that you're loved. Just know that you're loved. Know that you're loved. that you're loved. Know that you're loved. Know that you're loved. Know that you're loved.
Progressive State Senator Natalie
Hanging from a thread till you dead, cause your partner put a price on your head. Cause your chick was laying up in his bed, she getting details, spilling every word that you said. She working retail, thirsty bitch just trying to get ahead. If history tell us anything, y'all both end up dead. It's just a street tale, a fable, some shit someone said. Sit at the table and hope there's more to offer than bread. Pulled out the cradle, first steps you getting chased by a fed. No head starts, just body parts and lead sparks. Old religion, brand new hate and weak hearts. Oligarchs, krakens, dragons, you see sharks. Imagine you could manage to maneuver the deep part. You a savage, you can have it, just show all your teeth sharp. If you could grab it, you could stab it, just aim for the bleeding heart. The ones that show compassion, a soldier that seeks art. Does the artist that wage war take over or take part? Taking a knee, thinking no one faithful is me. I'm good people in bad lands, no evil live within me. I mind mine, I survive, find this land's for the free. If I'm mistaken, I'm forsaken, no one rescuing me. Residual effects, straight bullets through familiar necks. For any number of infractions that I deem disrespect. Your beliefs, you deserve better, but we both in the shit. You just haven't come to grips with it yet. Fight or flight, and they ain't really nowhere to go. If your back is against the wall and you ain't throwing no blows, you gon' crumble in the rubble, become blood in the snow. If you a victim, they collect them, grab the body and go. Dig them and ditch them, total disregard for the soul. Gas them and lit them, watch the flesh burn in the glow. Where we live and catch a shiver, this a hell you don't know. Your best hope is that your dying ain't slow, or your dying's a show. Where we at, it's every man for his own. A bloody backdrop, where killers just zone and slice flesh to the bone. Masked and gloved up front of your home. A flash of gun, but the side of your dome. Fresh blood from a stone, dents in your sense. Kick your fucking ball through the fence, dare you to say something. No sense in sitting around in suspense. Find out what's next, open your fucking mouth, disrespect. See the extent of how my life is intense. She beautiful and oppressed in a permanent summer dress. She a servant and still she blessed. Children cradled against her breast, whispering prayers, wishing their souls the best, knowing that they forgotten, not forgetting they're blessed. The bloodiest red lights, just piles of dead life. Something must be broken, the glyphs wasn't read right. You think them Bible papers will shed light? Yeah, right. Burn after reading, tell the preacher I'm leaving.